This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 299. We're starting a brand new franchise. We're starting the Planet of the Apes franchise, but actually the remake of the Planet of the Apes. So we're going to start off with the 2011 version of Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, introduced our special guest for our lovely two episodes.
This episode and the next episode as well, we got a very special guest. You might know her if you've ever seen our live shows. She's in the chat. She's a longtime patron and also my movie partner / best friend. Her name is Beckish. Beckish, please say hello to all the people listening at home.
That's me. I'm the best. I'm Nate's best. Rebecca, Beckish, Becklish, if you ask Alex.
Depending who you ask, it's either Beckish
here.
or Becklish. So it's either
Yes.
one. But she is here, and she's going to be reviewing some Apes with us, and she'll be on next week as well.
Yeah, so all right, so let's start it off with some financials, and then we'll go to some critics. All right, so let's go financially. This movie budgeted at $93 million. Not bad for a CGI film, if you really think about it. The whole movie is all CGI
for
animals.
93.
It does. Worldwide total of $481 million. Nate, is it successful?
Big hit. I mean, big hit if you go by our metrics of at least double. But even if you went with the 2.5 times factor, double of 90s, what, 180? So this thing doubled that. So it made plenty of money. And I think this gave the studio a lot of confidence to continue with making the sequels, because this is I can't believe the budget was that low, to be honest with you. Stealth cost $130 million, and this movie cost 90, and the CGI in this is amazing.
Dude, it was like almost the whole apes were guys in suits, and they look like real apes.
It was all
running
mocap,
around.
but it looks fantastic.
They did. All right, Bex, what do you think of the worldwide total? Are you surprised?
I don't know much about numbers, but it is surprising based on the last podcast I heard with the movie Stealth. But I guess I am a little bit surprised. It is a very nice movie to watch. Like, all the scenes, they seem real to me. He seems real to me. So that, to me, is a big deal when it comes to CGI.
Yeah, I think the budget is more surprising than the box office total.
I agree. I just saw this for the first time now, and I'm like, what? $93 million? And in reality, the movie, in terms of special effects, this is, out of the 299 episodes that we've seen, this is the perfect watching one. Like, I mean, in terms of flawless, like, I did not see any wrongdoing. Like, you could go, oh, that's CGI. You couldn't at all. Like, it was just weird in that sense. All right, critics and audience, Nate, for Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, we're starting a new franchise, so this is the first one. So on the next two, I'll be giving the difference between each one, which I started last week. This one's pretty good, guys. This got some pretty good reviews. This has an 82% critic score. So 82% of the critics said this is a good movie. And with audiences where we have experienced plenty of gaps when we do these movies. Not a big one here, bro. 77%. So only a 5% difference between audiences and critics. Both very impressive, I think. For
This
a movie
is
like this,
shocking.
impressive.
But it's very shocking, though.
Yeah.
Because we did movies that, I mean, like a movie like this, where you're going, which we're going to talk about in our review, what we think of it. But I'm very shocked that the audience is lower than the critics.
I can agree with that. But let's just, for context, let's just look at the original Planet of the Apes. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
So why I wanted to bring that up is because it's considered a classic film. And this one's only 5% less. And it's like a CGI reboot. So that's pretty impressive.
I think it's, I don't know. I think it's very shocking, though, in this sense with the audience. I'm very shocked. Like, that means not many people like this version of the film.
No, 77% of people liked it. But it is weird that it's lower than the critic. That doesn't happen that often with certain kind of movies it does. But in our experience with action, it's usually the other way around.
All right, so before we go into our review, I want to ask, when you guys saw this for the first time, we're going to go around the table. What was your initial reaction coming out the theater, seeing this for the first time? Okay, Bex, take it over.
Well, for me, I thought it was fantastic. It really tied the story together. Okay, how are they going to do it now based on, was it a show or a movie? It was a movie. Instead of it being a Planet of the Apes, it is our real world, real life. Okay, this could definitely have happened. And for me to believe a story like that and to sit and feel like I was a part of the cast just because of how, realistic it was, because I'm just a big animal lover. So watching him and it seemed realistic to me, I empathized with him and I was in it from beginning to end. So I liked it a lot.
Nate?
Yeah, funny theater story. Me and Becca saw this together at the theater back when it came out at a midnight screening, and there was some very loud talkers in our theater, and we had to move seats. I specifically remember this movie because we started in one seat and moved to another one because they wouldn't shut up. To her point, I also liked it. I remember being like, I'm not going to like this movie because I had never seen the original one with Charlton Heston, and I hated that Mark Wahlberg one. So I was like, I don't know about this movie. This movie looks kind of...
That's right. I completely forgot about that.
Everyone did. Everyone should forget about the Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, once this one came out, I think everyone forgot
that one got deleted
from
history.
Yeah, Tim Burton's version went out the window.
I was like, and this is the first one that doesn't have people in suits. It's like, So I was surprised at how much I liked it. I'll just say that.
Yeah, when I saw this in the theater, I came out of the theater going, what the hell? Like, what did I watch? Because I did watch I didn't see the originals, but I saw the Tim Burton one in the theater. And I was just like, this is god awful. The only redeem of that is that they really had Charles Heston in the suit in the film. People didn't know that it was really him in the movie, but it was really him as I think he was like the grandpa ape or something like that, the old guy.
Papa ape.
Papa ape. Yeah, he was the one that said, get your damn hands off me, you dirty human. He said
he flipped the line.
He flipped the line, but that was Charles Heston's version. But I was just like, whatever. When I saw this one, I was like, holy crap, like, this is where we are with CGI. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy, where it was just a lot believable, but I enjoyed it a lot. And I was just like, I wanted more of this franchise. But as it is, let's break it down because it's been a while since we've seen these on the rewatch. So let's go with the review. Nate, you started off with the lead character, Caesar. And John Franco, because he's in this movie too.
James Franco. Yeah, we'll tie them together. I mostly scored Caesar. He is the titular ape of the Rise. He's the riser of the apes. So, quick note on Franco. He's miscast in this movie. I don't think he's bad. I'm not saying I like him in comedy. I like him in Spider-Man. That's it. Yeah. Like, if for some reason, I could probably take him serious in a serious role, but this role, he didn't fit as a scientist. Like, I wasn't buying it. Although, I don't think his performance is bad. So, I don't think he acted well. I just don't think he was the right guy for the role. Caesar, though. Andy Serkis doing the motion capture. He's the best, right? I mean, at this point, he played Gollum in the Lord of the Rings movies. He played King Kong in the Peter Jackson's King Kong. So he had already done some like ape work, I guess. Ape work, is that a thing? He did some ape work already. I thought he was amazing. Caesar, the fact that they were able, and I think that it helps that it was motion capture for the face, because the fact that you're able to like get emotionally attached and understand the feelings of a computerized character says a lot about not just the CGI, but about the actual performance of the person underneath. And the writing, just the scene alone where James Franco goes to visit him, and I'll let Beckish tell you where he visits him at, but where he goes to visit him and he's like ready to take him home and he closes the door. He's like, nah, bro, this is my home now. This is where I live now. You get out of here. I'm here with my family. And I was like, dang, And of course, the iconic scene when he just goes, no. Amazing. Like, I literally, I think I did a one clap when I saw it in the theater. One clap hard like that. Yes. And I give him a 5. I give Caesar a 5. The fact that he only says 4 words in this whole movie, he says no, and he says Caesar is home. That's it. That's all his dialogue. Yeah. And I still give him a 5. He's amazing. Franco, I would give, if we were scoring him, I'd give him like a 3. He's whatever. 5.
Well, for me, it made me laugh when he said, I can tell you where it's from, because I didn't mean to say it. We were talking about me watching the movie. I'm like, yeah, they had him in monkey jail. And he just busted out laughing. So
monkey jail.
They had him in monkey jail. No, in chimp jail, I should say. But to me, Caesar 5, hands down. I've watched nature shows. I like them. I like watching them in their natural habitat. I like learning about them. They are incredible, amazing creatures. And the fact that he was able to capture it was a human capturing those types of movements. And it just drew me in. And then, from him wanting to just play with the kids, but then wanting to protect his grandfather and going through all of these emotions, you feel like you're growing with him. And then when he becomes this adult that gets abandoned and abused, and then he has to figure it out for himself, and then you just see the genius come out and how he was able to rise up like that. It was impeccable. 5. It's Franco. I love the guy in Pineapple Express. I loved him in funny movies. Knocked Up. He was in Knocked Up. I had to write this. I had to look it up. For the time, the only serious thing he was in was Spider-Man. So for me, this was kind of too serious a role for me to be able to take him. His dad died and he just looks up and blinks, I'm like, okay, next scene. Sad. So I don't know. I agree with Nathan.
I'll go quick. In terms of James Franco, he reminded me of Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner. I never believed him as Bruce Banner as Hulk. Like I prefer if they had a real scientist in the damn, like you know what I mean? Like I just felt like he was like I don't know. That's what I felt like with James Franco. Did he work? Yeah, he did. I guess he was the perfect role for that time, I guess. I don't know who else could they got for it. I don't know. I mean, they must have casted so many people, but they landed this guy for some reason.
I mean, he was a name. He was a name at the time, but
yeah. And then what happened right after? Right, he got hit with the sexual abuse something, and then they wrote him out of the sequel. So
okay, well that's okay.
Yeah, so like that's what I'm saying. So like for me, like they had so many actors that they could have put in that role. They landed on this guy for some reason, but he was all right. I was he was available. He was okay. I agree with you guys. I mean, he could act. It's not like he's that horrible. So he was good. Now Caesar was so good. I was just like, holy crap. And you're right. The evolution of Caesar rise to power was really flawless. Like I love when he was like climb Caesar and he's running all over the trees and you see him getting older and older and older. And I like how they did that because they could have stretched that damn thing out for a long time. Him getting as an adult, but they did that really right. I mean, I agree with Nate. The whole no scene was the best part. I remember seeing it in the theater, and I was shocked. I was like, "Oh man, you guys are done." Like once he said no, I was like, "Oh man, this dude's gonna beat your ass somewhere somehow," and he didn't.
A poop emoji just to
and I liked how he uses smarts. Like the guy picked up the electricity stick and he shot him with water. That was mad funny. He just shot him. He fell backward.
Draco Malfoy.
Yeah, and acted a little bit like him too.
That's him.
No, I'm saying he acted
just Harry Potter
as his Harry Potter role.
Yeah, so I was just like, all right, that was cool. But for me, I thought the ending, the third act with Caesar, I think it was like I was like, okay, this was like really good. I mean, I could have watched an extended of the bridge scene over and over because like I love how he's like, I mean, they called him Caesar, but I liked him because he's very strategic. Like when he was like, wait a minute, every human is coming off the bridge. He's like, these dudes are trying to attack us. Like, all right, you guys go up, we go in the down. And I was like,
you saw him do that sign language thing. He's like,
and I was like, okay, this
and you know what else I liked about it? They gave him layers because he didn't really want to kill humans. He literally just wanted to go to the trees. That's all he wanted.
Yes,
I want to be free. These humans want to beat the crap out of them and shoot them. So some of them die, but he didn't want to like murder humans. Correct. And I like that about him because it makes him more sympathetic.
Well, because he was raised by the doctor. He was like, wait a minute, humans are good if you give them a chance. But these guys were so abused in the cages. They were like, oh, hell no. All humans are bad. And he's just like, human no bad.
Yeah. I love James. Oh, what was his name? I don't even remember the character.
His name was Will Rodman.
I love Will. I love Will. Caesar home. I love Will.
Caesar is home.
I love Will. And he just goes up the tree.
I'll just say this. The scene that he beats the crap out of the next door neighbor because he was pushing the father. This dude was
he bit his finger.
I was just like, oh, dude. I was like, and that, I mean, this dude has strength because he kicked them off the bench, like he flipped them over. I mean, he could have killed them if he wanted to, but he saw the little girl and he stopped. But he chopped it. He just straight up bit the finger. And I guess that was a bad sign language because like he kept looking at him pointing in his chest. Yeah, and I guess... Yeah, he did not like that,
sir.
He did not like that. Yeah, he was wilding. I like that a lot. All right, 5 across the board. Main villain. Now, the villain here, I don't know what it could be humans.
I told Beckish to score, and maybe you'll agree, Alex. The monkey jail owners. So you got William Stryker and Draco Malfoy.
Okay, John Landon. That's Brian Cox.
And the black guy, the head of the science people.
Steve Jacobs.
Yeah, them. Pretty much the villains.
All right. Steve Jacobs is the owner of the pharmaceutical company, and then John Landon is the animal cruelty guy. So Bex, you can start this one off. What do you give those guys?
I had a back and forth with Nathan about this. I'm like, how do you determine who the villain is when you feel like there's more than one?
Yeah.
But I think the one that really struck me most, because the rich lab owner, he wasn't memorable. He didn't make me hate him enough to feel like he was a villain in this story. But the sleazy gatekeepers, Harry Potter kid, and the other guy, they made me want to 5-finger punch them. So I think I would definitely give them a 5 for being a villain. Because if you want to, if you make me want to punch you in the face, I feel like you deserve all 5 fingers. And I gave them a 5. They really, really made me want to hurt somebody for what they were doing. So if I could be drawn into a story that much, then bravo to you for being a douchebag.
There you go. He's Dodge Landon. Tom Felton. He's the son of
He's
Brian
Draco
Cox.
Malfoy and William Stryker. That's who they are. That's who they are to me.
Yeah, he did. He fulfilled his douchebag
Yes.
duty,
Know them
so
from
I'm okay with him.
other
and he
movies where
deserves-
they're also bad guys.
Yeah.
So I could totally see her score there, especially because she like loves animals. I could see like them, really pissing her off. So I split the difference with the villains. They're bad. They're definitely bad, and they're abusive. And David Oyelowo is the actor that plays the other guy, the laboratory guy. And he was bad too. I mean, look, the fact is he didn't care about any of the apes. He's like, that's why we test on them. Who cares? If they die, they die. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, he was all about money. He was willing to push these things that weren't ready. And then at the end, he dies in a helicopter crash. So neither one of them were like super... This is not that kind of action movie, I guess is what I'm saying, of like villains that you must stop. There's just people who mistreated the apes enough for you to hate them. You know what I mean? And I didn't like them. So I think they did a good job there. I give them a 4. I landed on a 4. If they really focused on one or the other, maybe it would go higher for me. But for me, a 4.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to I went with a 5. And I guess because this movie it's kind of hard because this movie has so many layers of villains. Because Caesar had to go through the evolution of him becoming the ape. So you had the scientist with James Franco's character. So you had to develop that crap. And then he's developing the Alzheimer's disease, which it's so much. We'll talk about that storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like you have that plot line with the villain, but then you have the animal control people. So you're just like, damn. But then you knew they were going to be the assholes because you knew someone's going to be beating on the apes just to get them wild up and then move the story along, which I thought it worked. I mean, him breaking out to get to the facility to grab the canisters and then let's give it intelligence to all the apes. I kind of liked it a lot. And yeah, I did want it to like beat the crap out of Dodge Landon. I was like, he's a dick. Like he brought those girls in and he shocked the damn thing and they all started wiling up. And Caesar just stood there standing like, dude, I'm going to beat your ass first.
I cannot wait to
he was
tap
just like-
that.
Caesar was standing there with his little pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the only one who wears
Shirtless.
pants. Yeah.
Yeah. He stood there standing like, I'm gonna get you somewhere, somehow I'm gonna get to you. And I thought that was really great. And then towards the ending, how all the humans, all the cops just started to, they jumped in also. So I mean, in reality, is the humans?
All the humans are bad except James Franco.
It's bad in this
Peter Pinto.
storyline.
Yeah.
But in a way, the movie made you feel like it's weird. Like the movie makes you want to like the apes, even when they take over the whole planet. You're just like, I'm going for Caesar on this one. Like you guys did it to yourself,
Right?
in this one.
Ain't that a funny thing? The original movies are about the apes being bad, and like the human, you're rooting for Charlton Heston, and in this movie, you're rooting for the monkeys, or the apes,
Yeah,
chimps,
yeah.
whatever they are.
But the funny thing is with the original, there were some good. It's not like they were all bad.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
the
There's a
doctor
few.
tried to help him.
Yeah.
He's like, stay quiet, don't speak. And he just like, and then he spoke, and then of course that's when all the famous lines came out. But
did what I told you not to do.
yeah. So I don't know. Villain wise, 5 on that one. So action scenes, which I already think we can see where we're gonna go with this across the board. But Nate, you're gonna go with it first. What do you give the action?
I don't know if we're gonna go all across the board with this because you said that now I don't think so because I gave it a 4. It's not a 5 for me. It's not a 5 for me. I reserve my 5s for the ultimate. I don't think this is the ultimate. This is not the ultimate action. It's good. It's very good. There's also not a lot of action. It's literally the last 30 minutes where the action takes place. You have like a little bit of, the ape who escapes in the beginning and runs through the facility. Okay, that's not, it's fine. It doesn't like make me stand up and cheer or anything. And then you have the apes fighting a little bit in the monkey jail. as Becca beautifully put it, the monkey jail fights. Okay, not much. And then the end, you do have the scene where the apes finally break out. They go to the facility, and it is a long action scene. And all my whole 4 points goes for the end part of the movie. Like the third act is where all the action is. It's good. You know, you got the helicopters coming in, the cops coming in, but I nothing was like the most incredible thing I saw to give it a 5 for me. So I gave it a 4 though. This movie has good action. And you know what else? I think, and I try not to do this when we review these movies, but I know what's coming up in the other movies, and the action in this is not as good as those. And so I'm not going to give it a 5. It's a 4 for me.
Bex, you're next. What do you give the action?
Okay. Well, I mean, I gave it a 5. Why? Because
Why?
because I was looking at it as an independent film. I know that there are others, but if I was reviewing this particular movie and scoring this particular one on its action, I mean, the fact that he pulled out Big Dog and he was like, "You're gonna help me because I'm gonna be your boy," and then he like, I was like, that is so smart. I wonder what he's gonna do next, and everything was an escalation for the next scene when they broke out the other monkeys the other chimps from the zoo, and then they took the fence and made it spears. And then they, freed the other one that was trapped. And then the whole bridge thing, the go up and go under, and then him riding on a horse. It just, all of it excited me. And I thought deserved, it was with the CGI included, right? Because we're not watching real animals, but we're still watching this action that feels so real. I have to 5-finger punch it.
There you go.
I mean, look, dude, I don't know. I seen the other twos too, but this is a 5. I don't know. Because if you got to think of it this way. If they never made the 2 and 3, then this would be the solo.
Because it only has action in the last 30 minutes.
What? So why? This
What do you mean, so what?
I'm not gonna go through this way. But I'm just saying.
But it still needs a storyline. It can't be action the whole time. You got to give it context.
Of course not. But you got to think. We're scoring specifically the action of the film. It is very good. A 4 for me is very good. 4 out of 5. It's not perfect. This is not a perfect action movie. So that's all I'm saying.
No, you're right. Okay.
No, but in terms of
the whole perfect score
not
thing.
A perfect action movie, but is a perfect amount of action in the movie for the story.
Yes,
I
agree.
Going it worth. I'm just saying. Because you got gorillas pushing a bus to hold bullets for them to go across. Once that happens, you got one gorilla sacrifices himself for my man Caesar, throws his ass into the helicopter. Then you got my man Koba kicks the damn helicopter down with my man Jacobs going, "Oh, not you." And he's like, "Koba." Kicks him down. I was like, hell yeah. I mean, you're right. He rides a whole helicopter. He beats the next door's neighbor's ass when he touched technically his grandfather because he thinks he's part of the family. I don't know. I think it has enough action for this type of story. Now, other movies would be more intense, more whatever. But in terms of this, in terms of the first film, I think this is a perfect amount of action, and I was all up in it. And I agree with Bex. All that spear throwing from the roof, they could have speared everybody.
You know what? I don't disagree with your guys' scores. I understand your points, but you know me. And this is 299 episodes in. Y'all already know. Always the harder one on action.
Oh, no, yes. You are very...
No, you're right.
This is on par for me. It's very good. I save my 5s for when I'm blown away. I wasn't blown away. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Because I don't typically do this all the time. I don't go ahead and
I was just throwing out 5s left and right. 5s left and 5. Everything 5. 25 out of 25.
You're going to see a pattern with me, too, if you ever invite me.
All right. We got 2 5s. We got a 4. Storyline, Bex. What you give it?
Oh, gosh. That's me? Storyline. Well, I'm going to give you one guess. I gave it one
Does it
slap.
rhyme with 5?
I gave it one slap. It rhymes with live. 5. I'm telling you, it captured my heart. It captured my mind. It captured everything that I love about animals. The fact that it looked as if I was watching a real animal on screen. And I could totally see it evolving into almost being human. If you can pull that off, then you deserve a good score. So that's what I give it.
All right, Nate.
Nothing wrong with that. I give it a 4. I think this movie is very good. I think it is very good. I almost say it's better than it should be. You know what I mean? You think on paper, if someone came into the pitch meeting like, "Hey, we want to reboot Planet of the Apes, but we're going to show it from the beginning, like when the apes before they even took over. To me, I'd be like, good luck. Like, that doesn't seem like a great idea, especially knowing that all the movies before were people in suits. You know what I mean? So I do think it was interesting. I thought the storyline was good. The reason I gave it a 4 is because it does this balancing act where it's trying to be both a virus movie and then this apes movie. You know what I mean? And I believe the original Planet of the Apes, the people were wiped out by nuclear war and they killed each other. So here they're changing it to this virus from this company. And then at the end, in the credits, they show it like spreading all around from the pilot and then the next person and whatever. So it has like a little bit of outbreak and then a little bit of apes. And I think for the most part it worked, but I wish a lot of the virus stuff was really downplayed to the end instead of trying to sprinkle it in, because then it lessened the impact a little bit for me. So I gave it a 4 though. I thought it was very good, well written, good characters. A very solid starting point for sure.
Yeah, I gave it a 5. Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying. The virus part for me, it came towards the end, though. Like, it wasn't like the main focal point.
It's sprinkled throughout, though. The fat guy, he gets sick. Yes, he gets sick.
Yeah, but he got sick when they did Koba, and then that didn't come back towards later down the road.
That's what I mean. It's the middle of the movie. They're already starting that.
I guess. I don't know. I just think in terms of the meat and the potatoes of the film, look, I say, for me, for a remake, and I always tell people, if it is told in that most unique way, that it feels original, and it feels like they took something that everyone loved and enhanced it by 1,000,000, I'm going to give it a 5. And this movie did that. And I agree with you, Nate, because when you look at the original, these dudes came from outer space, they did not know it was New York.
Yeah.
They landed on Earth. It was like, that's it. That's their story. This one is like, okay, how are we going to tell this entire brand new story? How did they come up? A scientist is trying to come up with a cure for his father's Alzheimer's, and they tested it on chimps, and the chimp had a baby, and the baby had the original thing, and then he became like, I thought that was all genius. Now, from point A to point B, I was like, this is pretty cool, and I liked it, and I think what happens is that they went away from that, and then you started to focus on Caesar's emotions, like him with the humans, and then him becoming the leader that we all know is going to become within the 3 films. So like, for me, I like that a lot. I thought it worked for me in terms of storyline. So I gave it a 5. I was like, this to me has to be the best. And when they decide to do another one, man, they're going to have a lot of an uphill battle to try to go up with these storylines. That's for me.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they're going to continue after war. Like, if they're just stay with this storyline.
If it's Cornelius, his son.
Yeah,
because I'll be like, okay, that would make sense.
Instead of rebooting it again, because good luck. You ain't going to be able to do that twice.
Nope. I agree with that. All right, here we go. Overall.
Yeah, overall for me, this is a 4 out of a 5. I think it's a very good movie. To be honest, even, I've seen these movies each a couple of times. This one's my least favorite of the 3, but I do think it's very good. I think it's very good. I think it's a great start to a rebooted franchise. They do switch directors. Who's the director of this one? You have the thing up still. It's a guy who I don't really think.
I'm really bad with director names, so here we go.
I think it's Rupert Wyatt.
Rupert Wyatt.
Okay, Rupert Wyatt. Yeah, and he didn't really do anything else after this. You know what I mean? No. I know Matt Reeves takes over for the next 2, and those just have a little bit more everything to me. So I do like this movie a lot, though. I think it's paced well, hour and 40 minutes, moves quick, fun action, good characters. I enjoy Caesar a lot. I love Caesar. Mostly I watch for him. Like, this movie is a showcase for him, and everything else is there, and it's fine. But it's a 4 for me.
All right, Bex.
I don't know if I could go down from my continuous 5s over here. Because if we were voting villain to be the rich lab owner, I would have given him a 3. If we were voting James Franco to be the lead character, I would have given him a 3. So for that, I think it's fair for me to give it a 4, just because those 2 pieces I could have done without.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you got to factor the whole picture.
Yeah.
Right. I wasn't, there were still things that I'm like, kind of fell flat for me.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to overall, I gave it a 4. I didn't give it a perfect because I thought Steve Jacobs' character, I think they could have did something more with him as the CEO. I think he could have did more diabolical crap. Yeah. So they didn't focus more on him. And I feel like they should have been more, I know it's going to sound wrong, but it should have been more destructions with the humans. Like, they should have been going down the street whipping ass on the humans, going toward, we got that bridge for
slapping babies.
Yeah, slapping babies or throwing them downstairs, doing something weird.
The apes doing that? The apes doing that?
Yeah.
I would have given the action a 5.
I don't agree with this.
No, because you're speaking my language. I would have given it a 5. They threw some babies off a bridge. If I saw an ape chuck a baby off a bridge, 5.
Yeah.
I go 5.
Like, to be really honest with you, like, that's the only thing for me that was missing. Like, yeah, we had that 30-minute ending on the bridge, but I was like, wait a minute. They were coming from the streets, and they gave you a little bit. I was like, nah, they should have went through buildings and, like, hitting people, tumbling buses over with people in it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, like, having fun with that, but they didn't do that. Like, you had apes running through like, and this is the thing that I was a little like, you had apes running through the bridge, come in contact with humans, but they didn't hit them. They were just like, yeah, you can continue going this way because we're going on the forest. Like, in reality, if these apes were escaping, they're getting bowled like over. Like, all these humans are going to be getting hurt. Like, they're not going to get killed, but imagine a gorilla hitting you full force into a car. Like, I wanted to see that. Yeah, I wanted to see someone slamming into a car. But
man, Alex, let me tell you, you're really proving my point on the action here. This is exactly why I gave it a 4. If everything you said happened, 5. But because it didn't.
Well, that's my overall. The action's still a 5. But
no, thank you.
For me, I wanted just more rated R version of the apes attacking humans.
That's right.
And I wanted to see John Landon get his ass beat by Caesar, the gatekeeper of the animal.
Yeah, same. He got off light.
Yeah, he should have took all of them to his house. I waited.
Do like this with the stick.
Yeah,
you know?
waited. Caesar home. Just
Caesar's home now.
Caesar's my home.
Look at me.
Yeah,
I am the captain now.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the scenes I did like a lot too is when he took out the big ape, the gorilla, the first gorilla. He opened up the cage and he was just like, "Come on, friend." Like, run free, because he's
smart.
Where the other apes came from? Where did the gorillas come from? Because that was that one. Is it because of the zoo? They let go of everyone from the zoo.
Yeah,
they had to because there was only like 20 apes in that facility, and there was like 80 that were running around outside.
I was like, where did they get all these gorillas from? I was just like, okay, all right.
And Maurice,
they did the lab. They freed the ones in the lab. They freed the ones in the zoo and the ones in
lab.
The
there was
jail. There's three different.
So he had to get more canisters to give them smarts because now it's not that many smart apes.
That's another thing I was wondering. Are some of them still normal apes and they're just kind of following suit?
I think so.
Or
probably
are they all infected?
Yeah. I think the ones from the zoo are following the smart ones now because they don't get no more canisters to give around.
Too. Apes have that natural hierarchy thing of like there is one that is like the alpha, and Caesar established himself as that. So even the dumb ones know that he's the leader.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean that kind of makes sense in that because that would have been like, damn, we got to go back to get more canisters and throw that shit to the rest. Dump ape over here.
We need more canisters. Rise of the Planet of the Canisters.
Secret of the canisters, like the turtles. The secret of the ooze. All right, Nate, your total point.
21 out of 25. This movie is really good. It is really good. Again, I can't stress it enough. To reboot this franchise and to me, this is better than the old one. I mean, I saw the old one after, and it's dated and like it's fine. I understand why it's held in high regard, but I like this one better. So the fact that they rebooted it, great launching point, fun movie, 21 out of 25.
All right, Bex, what's your total point?
I have no idea.
24.
I wasn't keeping score.
24.
I want to say it's 24. Okay.
I keep count. Don't worry. 24 out of 20.
All right, so I gave it a 24 also. I mean, I think for a starting point, this is a perfect film in terms of everything from storyline, characters, except James Franco's casting, but I think everything around it was great. I enjoyed it, and I still will rewatch it over and over.
Oh, you know what? The other thing I forgot. I don't hate, but I think they wasted the like Frida Pinto, like the little love story between them, useless. Like tacked on. It felt like she was in it because she was in Slumdog Millionaire and there, but it was very just.
They needed a love interest.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. They literally could have cut it out, and the movie's the same exact movie.
I agree with that.
Agreed.
One. Yeah. I do agree. But the only thing is like they had her for like, and that's like, and again, he's a doctor, right? I mean, he is a doctor, scientist, and it's like, oh, Caesar got hurt. Let me take him to the zoo to someone who could like patch him up, and it's like a hot chick.
Yeah.
It's
the
like
hot vet.
Yeah, the hot vet.
The hot vet.
Yeah, sure. Like I don't know. I agree with you on that. In terms of there was nothing more. I will say, in terms of the father, I kind of liked him in the movie because to me, it made Caesar. I don't know. For me, I felt like Caesar felt more human than an ape.
Oh yeah, and John.
You know
Lithgow
what I mean? Like
great.
he was attached.
Yeah,
like,
I like that stuff. Really, only her. She's the only thing that's tacked on bad. They could have just cut her out. Didn't need her.
My other favorite scene that I like though is when he couldn't cut the egg and Caesar saw him and he flipped the fork and then he looked at James Franco and he's just like, my man's back to dumbness. Like he gave him that look like you gotta give this dude
more canisters. He's wearing off.
He's like, my man ain't looking too good over there. Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, man. And in terms of story, that was another thing that pissed me off. Is like, you leave your father with Alzheimer's, right? By himself with an ape, knowing that he's going back to what he was to go to work. And I'm like, I mean, I know they had to develop the conflict of the story so he could go into the animal control, but I just felt like that felt kind of a little like, wouldn't you as a scientist going, damn, he's gonna become, can you have a friend come over and be like, can you watch my dad for a little bit? I'll be right back. Or the girl, like, can you watch my dad quick, and watch Caesar? But he let his father open that door and he was just like, there's keys in the car. Let me go behind the wheel and crash it.
Yeah. He started a fight with the neighbor.
Oh yeah, that neighbor got the shit out of the stick, bro. He got his ass beat by an ape. He got spit on by the guy with the disease.
His finger got bit. He got beat up, and then he gets the disease and spreads it around the earth.
No, and that scene when they were running in the trees when the war was about to start on the bridge, and you see all the leaves just raining. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was so sick because the anticipation.
The anticipation of them
awesome.
Beating the crap out of humans going to the forest. Right. You're like, oh yeah.
And he jumped on his car. His car was
on purpose.
He's like, he did it on purpose. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he tore that shit up.
I was in monkey jail. I remember.
Yeah, he did. He's like, you bastard, you put me in there.
He's sucking me up.
You son of a bitch. But anyway, Nate, what is coming up next on the podcast?
Yes, next episode, we will be continuing on with our heist movie month, and it is a very special 300th episode, and we're going to be doing a little movie called The Town, so that'll be next week, our next episode, and then next week, we continue on with the Planet of the Apes, the reboot with Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and I'm excited. You know why? My boy Koba. Coming up in this one. I love Koba, so I'm very much like, I haven't watched this one in a couple of years, but I'm very excited for it. So that's what we got coming up next 2 episodes.
I did remember that Koba was a little dick there.
He's
one-eyed, the one-eyed.
Yeah,
he's like Koba.
He's like the villain of the next one. He's such a bastard. Koba's such a bastard.
That's the one I don't remember. Is that the one that
That's the one he freed him first one, right? That's the one that's all scarred up.
Caesar freed him. Yeah. That's supposed to be his right-hand man.
And he shot him with the machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, shot him with the machine gun. And he's like, Koba.
Excited.
Koba. Yeah.
It sounded like a
I know, it sounded like a bird. Rides of the Planet of the Birds.
The Planet of the Birds. Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, all right, if you guys want to follow us on our social media accounts, please follow Nate over Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Oh, and also Nate has joined forces with his friends again to do his Instagram live with his old podcast buddies. You can check that out when we're not live every other Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern at Netflix Reviews on Instagram. Anything action movie, guys, can head over also to Instagram at Geeks and Flicks or visit our official website at www.geeksandflicks.com for all our podcast episodes, and all our reviews are all there. And then merch store is coming up soon. But other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
And thank you so much, Bex, for joining us on this episode.
Great job.
A dream come true, you guys. I'm your biggest fan.
Oh, thank you so much. Be awesome to each other. Geek out.